Can you believe these girls are friends? Seriously, these three girls are friends. They are the hot ass trio who attracts all of the boys at school. But how? In today's video, I will be talking about the three types of girls that attract men. But more importantly, what specifically makes them attractive? Why can these three girls attract guys? Basically, any guy. Well, I'm for the Divine Collective, and let's get to analyzing. Now, I need to explain some notes before exploring each girl further. These characters that I've chose for each girl are meant to be examples. They're not actually who the girls are. Treat them more like embodiments of the girls, essentially the essence of the girls. Another note is that if you're interested in learning more about who the girls are, like their names and their storyline, then I suggest engaging with my channel right here, right now. You can do this by subscribing, following me on Instagram, or even checking out my short story on Inkit. It's called Ages of Infatuation, and it's a psychological coming of age about a young boy and his mom. It deals with factors like growing up, love, grief, and so if those things interest you, check out this video's description, or you can even look at my channel's description. By doing so, this shows me that people are interested and want to stay tuned for updates on this project. Otherwise, I'll be moving on to other topics that I want to cover. Alright, now that I've covered the notes, let's talk about who is in our trio. First, we have girl number 1, who is our cat, Valentine. If you don't think she's hot, you're lying. Crap, I don't even think she knows how hot she is. Cute, yeah, but hot? How? Well, she's the girl who's naive, stupid, dumb. She may not have as much patience as her friends, which may come off as desperate at times. She's someone who's careless, making her more susceptible to trouble. While these may not be desirable traits to the common intellectual, they are traits desirable to most, not all, but majority of men. She attracts men, but for the wrong reasons. You see, out of all of the girls, girl number 1 can be easily manipulated. All of her qualities, except the fact that she's hot, are all the reasons why guys like dumb girls. It's because they are innocent. Girl number 1 isn't one to threaten or challenge the male ego. She isn't necessarily the pick-me out of her friends, but can be depending on who meets her. In the trio, she's more the nicer one, the sweeter one, things of that kind nature. And despite these traits having negative connotations to them, girl number 1 is cherished like the rest. While you wouldn't want to be her, even if you have been or are her, she is more of someone that is bullied than to bully others. Next, we have girl number 2, Regina George. Rather the opposite of girl number 1, girl number 2 is the bully. Not girl number 1's bully, but she could be out of love. She's the mean girl, which is why she's hot. She can be pretty blunt about things, making her honest, and she's someone who's possessive, whether that be over her friends or her family. She's emotional, she's expressive, she's passionate. Girl number 2 attracts men because of her energy. Men like competition, and her qualities causes guys to prove themselves. She asks the question, why should she be worth your time? Because unlike girl number 1, girl number 2 doesn't chase. She isn't needy for attention. In the trio, she's the one to make everything about her. Not to cause a scene, but because she cares. Fun fact. While I was researching characters to use as examples, I originally thought of using Karen from Mean Girls for girl number 1, But then I would have had to use Gretchen too, since Regina is already girl number 2. However, I found that Gretchen is more girl number 2 than girl number 1. Speaking from the OG movie, not the musical remake, underlying qualities of both girl number 1 and girl number 3, which brings me to my next girl number 3. Girl number 3 is Maleficent, and she is very intelligent. Arguably the nerd out of the 3, she has the knowledge on how men work. She's presented as cold, which in return makes her cool. She has that black cat energy that makes her mysterious, and she's naturally unbothered, staying composed in the toughest situations. Most importantly, she don't give a f. How? Why? Well, because girl number 3 is a stoic, meaning she's emotionally calm and she protects her inner world. She protects it from the male ego and even knows how it works. She developed this mindset because her self-concept is one thing and one thing only. She is the queen. Rather than having anyone and anything serve her, she serves herself. She takes care of herself. This differs from desperate girl number 1, who's easy to be with, and not so nice girl number 2, who's harder to deal with. Now that I have introduced each girl, let's talk about who's group leader. Now, some may argue that girl number 3 could be group leader, and while she could be, group leader isn't girl number 3. It is fought between girl number 2 and girl number 3. And I say this because only one of them would be okay if they weren't the leader. Can you guess who? It's our girl number 3. She's completely fine not taking control. In fact, she could care less. Rather, when the opportunity for higher positions arise, she'll live up to that role, but is more than welcomed to watch from the sidelines. Because having power isn't always a bad thing. It's about how you use that power. I'll explain more of that in the next segment of this video. Leading me to the traits they share among each other. Here, girl number 1 and girl number 2 are people. That's funny. They are the extroverts in the friend group, the type to make friends. And what comes from this is leadership. They are influential, holding inspiration. They naturally guide others. Now, remember when I mentioned about having power? It will come in handy now comparing girl number 2 to girl number 3. From the moment you see them, you are immediately intimidated by them. Either of them. They, unlike girl number 1, may not be as approachable or as welcoming. Almost similar, yet very different. These girls are leaders, and part of this type of leadership is their ability to dominate, power over someone. This can be intense, but it is exactly what makes them addictive. Last but not least, girl number 1 and girl number 3. What do they have in common? Well, they are both sensitive people. They have compassion and are very perspective. They are observers, which naturally makes them thinkers. Girl number 1 may not necessarily think as analytical or rather as much as someone like girl number 3 would, but both of them are emotionally intuitive. They're able to analyze their own and other people's lives. Finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, what are the key qualities that connect these women? And to answer the question, what do they share that men find irresistible? Well, I have found that these 3 traits are what specifically draws the male gaze. Number 1, which isn't a surprise, is being hot. And to be hot, I don't mean only your physical appearance. Combining their hotness from girl number 1 to girl number 3, you'll see that it's not just about your looks, but your energy, your smarts. Each girl maxes out their own category of hot, and in return, balances out the dynamic between them. In addition, they can also match each other's hotness. But wait, how can girl number 1 be dumb but also be smart like girl number 3? Well, this is because girl number 1 may not be academically intelligent. Her strengths lie elsewhere through her emotions and social interactions. Same concepts apply to girl number 2 and girl number 3, where girl number 2 is a baddie who knows right from wrong, and girl number 3 can have high energy and also look good. In the end, it ends up working out. Number 2 is being carefree. Different from each girl, of course, they can all live without thinking too hard. One may care more than the other or be more easygoing than one another, but they each learn to enjoy the moment. While they each process situations differently, they will eventually move on from it because they know when it's time to let go. Lastly, number 3 is having confidence and taking pride. Women are attractive when they know themselves, when they know who they are in the world, when they know their roles, when they know their place. Which is why being confident isn't just about feeling good about yourself, which is something that they all share, but it's more about being comfortable even when there's chaos, even when the world tells them otherwise. It's about being okay with who you are, accepting it and praising it. Because they learned to love others, they must love themselves first and foremost. It's cliche, but it's why confidence and pride go hand in hand. And that is why these 3 types of girls attract guys. This is my second video on this channel. I plan on uploading more commentary videos like this on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So if you did enjoy, please like, share, and subscribe for more content from me. This was For the Divine Collective. Thank you. Bye.